Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts and this is a writing on the wall where I share my psychic knowings, visions, knowings, research, whatever, everything, the writing on the wall. I trained as a nurse and I want to speak to the nurses and doctors in general as a sector around the world today. And I want to ask, are you now at this point complicit in knowing what you do and still going ahead and doing it? Are you at this point undereducated? Are you at this point in fear of, if you don't go along with the narrative, if you don't do something against what you would want to do, against your will, you'll lose everything? Are you one of those doctors and nurses willing and hoping that each individual in the many, in the collective, does enough research, has enough wisdom and discernment to actually stand by you? Because are you one of those very few that are challenging the narrative, challenging the commands that are coming in from up on high? Because I've predicted a lot about this with the jabs, and a lot of it unfortunately is coming to pass. And I can see the divide within this sector, and I can feel the few of you that absolutely have done your own research and are so against with every part of your body what they are asking you to do, or what they are asking you to stay silent on. And I can feel the lions and lionesses in the heart of the few that are refusing to do what they are being asked to do, to follow the narrative, and speaking out about it and trying to block it. And I can't say anything other than to appeal to the nature of the warrior within you, if you are within this sector, to be brave enough to walk away now and speak up now, because I see these monsters through this experiment using you as a scapegoat. It's very apparent in the medical world that they teach you a certain narrative. They give you a lot of powers, good pay, a lot of debt also. It's not a free ride for sure. They put a lot of stress on you, no matter what part of the sector that you're in, when you then are earning your money. But at the same time, they constrict and control you, even down to what you can say to your very own patient. But they, at the same time, without giving you this authority and indoctrinating medical staff to not use their own wisdom, to not use their own discernment, but to always follow a script. At the same time, the same way that they give you these powers and the capabilities to buy nice cars, maybe, if you raise up the ranks as a consultant and whatnot, at the same time, they get you to sign certain things. They get you to make pledges. They get you to do this on the back of your own discernment and your own integrity. You're going to end up being scapegoats. You're going to end up being scapegoats, not just from these so-called powers that be, that will throw anything or anyone under the bus in order for it not to hit them, but also for the people. When the people realize that there's no getting out for you, because you can either be honored for your bravery of speaking out on their behalf because of your expected, the many expect you to be qualified, to be an authority within your qualification in the medical sector. So they expect good information from you. They expect safety in your arms, safety in your procedures. So even if you fall into one of the sections, as I mentioned at the start of this video, where you are You're not complicit. You are complicit, but not even knowingly, because you haven't even gotten up to do your own research. You haven't even gone outside of the box, even beyond the restrictions put in by the universities and the labs and the hospitals, and still maintained a level of independent thinking in your own time regarding the medical field. Instead, you may be turned into a robot and just continue to fulfill any narrative that comes from upon high. At the same time, because the people have been indoctrinated to listen to you, to listen to your authority. If a doctor says so, it's so. To expect you to be somebody of good integrity and good guidance and good wisdom. There is no getting out for you, even from the people. So for those of you in the sector that fall into the category of you're standing up for the rights of the people, you're standing up in this dark, dark experiment and actually making the statements that are correct and true. Thank you. And I can only hope that many more within the many, within the collective, start to back your voices, because I can feel that many others in the medical sector are not only backing you, but are effectively hurting you, harming you, threatening you. So I just appeal to the medical sector absolutely today. But I also, where I can make a change, because I'm not in that medical sector anymore, where I can make a change is doing what I'm doing now and speaking to my brothers and sisters in the many and saying, in the UK, they had us distracted. And I try to speak out on this, clapping for the NHS, banging a pot and a pan for the NHS. This was deliberate. This was a mind trick. This was an illusion, a distraction, even down to the pots and pans. What does that do in our subconscious? It pricks the subconscious of the photographs that we've seen of World War II, where a granny was banging a pot and a pan to tell the children to come in from playing. It's very clever. They pang on that nostalgia. There's a lot of nostalgia surrounding the NHS. Again, this has been indoctrinated into us. They hold no nostalgia for the NHS. They've used it for all it's worth, and now a better deal has come along. So while we were distracted and they had you clapping for the NHS and telling people off, like myself, who were speaking up about it as if we were dissing the NHS, no, we were trying to protect it. Because while you were distracted clapping for it and banging pots and pans, taking your mind back to the 1940s, they've been selling it off. They've been selling your DNA. They've been making huge deals with China. They've been making a huge profit for themselves and their friends. Boris has been lining the pockets of his own and his friends lavishly. And so we have to stop being distracted. So it's for us in the many to back the voices of those in the medical sector and not just clap for them, not just bang a pot and pan for them, but truly back them in their voices. And the first thing you can do is do research outside of mainstream media headlines. Do your own research as to even the words that are coming out of the manufacturer's mouths, out of Fauci's mouth, out of Boris's mouth, and back them up by making the decision to refuse to take part in this dark, dark, dark experiment. So it's an appeal to the medical staff around the world, but in particular the NHS. But it's also a huge appeal to say to the many, it's up to us now to be, there should be so few people, hopefully not any, going to receive such a thing. And that would be a huge voice. That would be a huge back into the medical staff that we love to praise and call heroes and say we love so much. We're not actually showing them any love by clapping or banging pots and pans, particularly for those ones that have just finished a night shift. So I just wanted to put that out there and say how serious this is and the ramifications of what is being done right now and what we are standing by and allowing to be done right now will be looked upon with shame, will be looked upon with terror, and will be remembered as a very dark turning point in humanity if it's allowed to continue. Unfortunately, for those who are already gone, that's their saga. But there are still very, very many more that could be saved from this. And there's still a big chance that humanity itself can be saved from the effects of this. It's nefarious, malevolent, and evil. So, so much love, balance, and wholeness. Stand up, be the lion, be the lioness. It's time. That's all I've got to say.